big and red, kind of like glass, and glowing.
On September 15, 1968, a pioneering show debuted from Hannah Barbera that combined live-action characters interacting with a cartoon world. Now, while this concept was not new, in fact there are examples dating back as far as 1900 with the film The Enchanted Drawing, it was still a big risk for the studio. In 1967, Hannah Barbera announced it was working on 6 new animated television series. At the same time, they were in production of an hour-long television special, an adaptation of Jack and the Beanstalk featuring Gene Kelly dancing with cartoon characters. This would turn out to be a trial run for one of their 6 programs they had in mind, a hybrid cartoon live-action series based on Mark Twain characters. It was to be called The New Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Now, while mixing live action and animation had been done in the past, at the time, in 1968, The New Adventures of Huckleberry Finn was to be the first television weekly program to combine live action and animation. It was also to be the most expensive. They were willing to take the risk, as Hanna-Barbera felt that it would not only bring in children as viewers, but adults as well. Now, the casting of the 3 young leads would be extensive and time-consuming, as both Hanna-Barbera and NBC were jointly involved. Hanna-Barbera had chosen 3 actors initially for the roles, but NBC felt they were too old and wanted younger performers, so the search started all over again. Eventually, they cast veteran child actor Michael Shea as Huckleberry Finn, newcomer Luann Haslam as Becky Thatcher, and Kevin Schultz, who was best known for starring in the Monroe's TV series as Tom Sawyer. Character actor Ted Cassidy played the part of Injun Joe, the series' main antagonist. Cassidy was best known for playing Lurch on The Addams Family. The premise of the show, as it's laid out in the pilot episode, is that the 3 children are coming home late one day. They take a shortcut through a graveyard, and that's when they run into Injun Joe. Joe is angry with the 3 for testifying at a trial against him for murdering a doctor. He chases after them, and they flee into the woods, where they become lost. The woods, it turns out, actually are some sort of mystical portal that transports them to different locations in time and history, so the 3 spend each show traveling to a different place trying to find their way home, all while encountering animated friends and enemies that they interact with. Each of the main villains in every scenario bear a resemblance to the real-life Injun Joe, and the 3 often remark about this. Since the show only lasted for 1 season, it's unclear whether or not there was to be any sort of explanation about how the children warped to each new place, why each villain looked like Injun Joe, or if it might actually be him in disguise, or if the children ever found their way home. During their travels, the children encounter leprechauns, Lilliputians, pirates, a gorgon, King Tut's mummy, and even Hercules. Shooting of the episodes was complicated, as each of the lead actors were minors and could only work certain hours. This, combined with needing to logistically have the actors interacting with characters that weren't even there, meant that shooting times were long and difficult. Not to mention that each episode took months to animate after the live-action parts were filmed. Problems aside, the series was well received and praised by critics. Hanna-Barbera had chosen to air the series on Sunday nights instead of Saturday mornings to increase their viewer pool with adults as well as children. This was both a good idea and a mistake, as while it did draw more viewers than it would have on Saturday morning, it was subjected to competing with popular adult shows like Lassie and Land of the Giants. NBC eventually replaced it after the 1 season with Wild Kingdom, and the show would go on to air on the Banana Splits and Friends show, where I first became aware of it as a child. It also had one of the catchiest theme songs that I'd ever heard, and still find myself humming sporadically to this day.
We got the steam up, you put the dream up, big river's calling you, listen my friend, follow that river, that mighty river, there's real adventure found every bend. Hear that whistle blow, see that paddle go, who knows what we're heading toward.
The theme song was written by country music artist Ted Nichols, and it's a big reason I always remembered this show existed. The three attractive main actors went on to become teen idols for a short time, and were often in demand to attend meet and greets for their young fans around the country. The series also inspired a one-off comic book from Gold Key Comics in December 1968, based on the episode The Curse of Tut. The New Adventures of Huckleberry Finn was a groundbreaking series at the time, and one that I always remembered, not only for the catchy theme song, but the three charismatic leads and the unusual combining of live action and animation at the time. It made it stand out from other shows of the era, and it still does. The show was never resolved, so somewhere out there, Tom Sawyer, Becky Thatcher, and Huckleberry Finn are still trying to find their way home.